Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this meeting today. Today we are going to talk about human revolution, a very, very important and most talked about subject. Well, when I first heard of the term human revolution, I was very rejective because the word revolution to me always means wars, fighting, turmoil, death, which destroys. Later on, as I studied more of Nichiren Buddhism, I learned that human revolution is, in fact, a process to help us turn bad into good. And today, I have prepared a very comprehensive material to try to share more information about this important topic. And my sharing will include the 10 negative forces that we need to change, 7 characteristics of human revolution, 6 questions and answers for us to ask if we are doing human revolution, and the 17 benefits that we get from doing our human revolution. Okay, I will start now. While in prison, Mr. Toda attained the realization that the Buddha is life itself. Based on that realization, he taught Buddhism is a philosophy of life, reviving it as a philosophy that can eliminate the present age. He also expressed the path to achieving the goal of Buddhist practice, attaining the life state of Buddhahood as human revolution. By introducing this new concept of human revolution, he could clarify and deepen the meaning of attaining Buddhahood as perfecting oneself in this present lifetime. The aim of our Buddhist practice is none other than achieving our human revolution. Buddhism is characterized by an emphasis on the possibility of inner transformation, a process of bringing forth our full human potential. Nichiren Buddhism teaches that it is only by squarely facing the challenges that confront us amidst the harsh and difficult circumstances that we can carry out the task of changing our own lives and the world for the better. Human revolution is the term used by second President Josei Toda to describe a fundamental process of inner transformation whereby we break through our lesser self, bound by self-concern and the ego, growing towards a greater self, capable of caring and taking action for the sake of others. Now actually, this is the gist of our Buddhist practice, is to care and help others to attain happiness and Buddhahood. As Mr. Ikeda explains, there are all sorts of revolutions: political, economic, industrial, scientific, artistic revolutions. But no matter what one changes, the world will never get any better as long as people themselves remain selfish and lacking in compassion. In that respect, human revolution is the most fundamental of all revolutions, and at the same time, the most necessary revolution for mankind. The question of how to change into a positive direction is one which has produced countless theories, religions, and publishing empires. Certainly, self-discipline and effort can enable us to make positive change, for example, by starting to exercise regularly, but the willpower required is often hard to maintain. Our self-control may slip at the crucial moment because we have not addressed the underlying inner causes of our behavior. For example, I've always wanted to go to bed at 11 o'clock, but so far I haven't been able to do it. I normally sleep at 12, which is a bit too late anyway. So this is the kind of human revolution I need to do on myself. So human revolution is the work of transforming our lives at the very core. It involves identifying and challenging those things which prevent the full expression of our positive potential and humanity. Nichiren Buddhism is based on belief in a pure, positive, and enlightened condition of life, which exists equally with all people. The life state of Buddhahood is characterized by the qualities of compassion, wisdom, and courage, which enable us to create something of value from any situation. Nichiren realized that the deepest process of change and purification takes place when we bring forth this state. And he taught the practice of chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo as a direct and immediate means for accessing and experiencing it. The Buddha nature expresses itself in concrete ways. First, we gain the conviction that our life contains limitless possibilities and a profound sense of human dignity. Second, we develop the wisdom to understand that things that we previously thought impossible are in fact possible. And third, we develop a powerful vitality that allows us to tackle our problems. We are thus empowered to pursue our own human revolution, striving to improve ourselves. For example, our today will be better than yesterday, and our tomorrow will be better than today. This is the kind of thought that we should all have. The message of the Lotus Sutra and Nichiren Buddhism is that through faith and practice, we can reveal Buddhahood, which is our highest, most enlightened state of life, just now, just as we are. This enlightened wisdom enables us to grasp the reality that circumstances which may seem the most unfortunate, be it seemingly incurable illness or bereavement, can actually provide the best opportunity for tackling our human revolution and the motivation for the greatest personal growth. When we look beyond our personal concerns and take action for the sake of others, this process is strengthened and accelerated. An experience which previously seemed like an unjust burden can become the key to finding the purpose of our lives, as we learn how to help others struggling in a similar situation. So all the things that we are encountering at the moment, and when we win, then it's a perfect example for us to encourage others who may come across the same situation. And this is the actual proof which we have been talking about. So human revolution is a struggle with ourselves. President told us that faith is a struggle against deadlock, which means that when you think you come to a dead end, you just need to have faith to tell yourself that with chanting, everything will come good. And with our chanting and Buddhist practice, there will be no deadlock. And this is a struggle between the Buddha nature and devilish functions. There are bound to be times when we become stuck in our process. We'll tell ourselves, oh, I can't go on anymore. That is when we need to chant and take action with even stronger determination. When we do so, we will definitely bring forth a higher state of life and be able to move forward once again. Continually repeating this process is the heart of our Buddhist practice. A lot of times, we just think that we cannot go on. I cannot see my way out. But this is not true. There is always a way out. You just cannot see it at the moment. But with chanting and the faith in yourself and in the Gohansen, the path will open up for you. Our victory is determined by whether we win or lose in this struggle with ourselves. Yes, it's you that you are struggling with yourself. Your mind is telling you something negative, but you have to win over your negativity. Victory and defeat are absolute. You either win or lose. There is no middle ground. A Buddha is one who has achieved victory. I remember when I had problem with my son Kevin, I was going to give up. But then my senior member told me, she said, Lydia, Buddhism is about winning. You can never give up. And I took her advice and I won. Nichiren writes, it has been 20 or more years now since I found myself in that situation and began the great battle. Not once have I thought of retreat. That is the kind of spirit that we should have. There are 10 kinds of negative forces that must be eliminated with our human revolution. First one is greed, which means becoming attached to the 5 desires and neglecting one's Buddhist practice as a result. 2, discouragement. You are depressed and aimless. 3, hunger and thirst, and you are being assailed by these desires. 4, craving. Decline resulting from desire or attachment. It includes attachments stemming from love or sexual desire, or addiction to substances, such as alcohols or other form of pleasure seeking. 5, sleepiness. Now, this doesn't mean that we are supposed to give up sleep. Rather, it refers to a lazy and negligent attitude or way of life. It may also include not making any serious attempt to improve oneself and just getting by with the least possible effort. A lot of times, we heard the phrase saying that the member has gone to sleep, which means that this member is not carrying out the Buddhist practice anymore. So this is why we call them sleep. Number 6, fear. Giving in to one's anxieties and being cowardly. Yeah, if you trust, you have no fear. I remember this is what my senior member told me. If you have faith, you do not fear. If you fear, that means you have no faith. And if you do not have enough faith, please chant to have faith. And I did that. I chanted to have faith in the Gohonzon in myself. And it worked. Number 7, doubt and regret. Devilish functions that try to lead practitioners astray and cause them to doubt or regret the path they are pursuing. I come across a few members who practiced for a while and then they gave up because they told me that it didn't work. So this is the doubt that they have. Number 8, anger. Allowing angry thoughts to obstruct one's practice. That's easy enough to understand. Number 9, fame. Fortune and false glory. Allowing attachment to material gain and worldly reputation prevent one from pursuing the path of attaining Buddhahood. Arrogance and contempt for others. Thinking highly of oneself and scorning others. I think a lot of people will think, I know, and then they won't listen. This, in fact, is something that we need to change.
My thing is related.
So when we think that we know everything, which means that we don't know. I remember there's a Chinese saying that out of 3 people, there's a person who can be your teacher. But to me, everybody can be my teacher. I'm learning from everyone. Because there's some good qualities in everyone that we can learn from. So this is why I'm learning very fast. So, what exactly is human revolution? The key points are, number 1, human revolution is about transforming ourselves through changing our fundamental life tendencies for the better. For example, if we are lazy, then we change this behavior and we become more diligent. Number 2, our revolution results in the transformation of our environment. Number 3, take action for the happiness of others is proof of our human revolution. 4, to get into it, human revolution is a transformation of our basic life tendency. This means changing our mindset or resolve on the deepest level. The kind of life we live is decided by our basic life tendency. Establishing the world of Buddhahood as our basic life tendency is what it means to attain Buddhahood. Well, it's very simple. Our basic life tendency could be selfishness or laziness or jealousy. And all these things will really prevent us from attaining Buddhahood or absolute happiness. So how do we know if we are changing our basic life tendencies or not? In Sensei's lecture on attaining Buddhahood in this lifetime, he gave 5 telltale signs that we may not be challenging our human revolution and give answers to these questions. Number 1, am I evading responsibility, blaming others, or being controlled by our environment? And the answer is chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo with the confidence that you have the power to transform our situation. Our environment mirrors how we feel inside. So the important thing is to focus on changing ourselves on a more profound level. A very simple example is, if an untidy person goes into a very tidy living apartment, very soon the apartment will be all scattered, will not be tidy. Whereas a tidy person moving into a very untidy and dirty apartment, very soon he will clean all the dirt and he will make tidy the living environment, and the environment will change according to his own life tendency. 2. B. Am I practicing a dependent faith by relying on external forces to help me? The answer is, summon forth courage and make efforts to challenge your situation head on. C. Am I grumbling or complaining based on doubt or disbelief? A lot of people do grumble and complain because they just don't know that they can solve the situation and everything will be all right. So just trust that we and others possess the Buddha nature and make an effort to make Buddhahood the basis of your life. D. Am I feeling jealous, resentment, or negatively towards others? The answer is, rather than waiting for others to change, be the one to change. Based on the spirit, many in body, one in mind. If you change, other people will change. E. Am I feeling fear or cowardice? The answer is, have courage and never retreat. That also brings forth the question of faith. If you have faith, you will not fear and you will not become cowardice. F. How do we transform these aspects of our life? Nichiren Daishonin says it's by chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo that we can actually do our human revolution. Sensei says, chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo is our fundamental Buddhist practice for carrying out our human revolution or inner transformation. To chant with a strong vow or commitment, deepening our own determination and conviction, activating the protective functions of the universe, and achieving absolute victory is the essence of chanting. Chanting brings us the infinite, profound, and vast benefit of inner transformation. This is the greatest happiness. In order to transform the world, we must be able to transform ourselves and our environment. In this example, Sensei talks about family relationships. However, this same guidance applies for any difficult human relationship in our life. Sensei says, I'm not sure that there are those who, even though they practice Nichiren Buddhism, have challenging relationships with their sons or daughters or with their daughters-in-laws, or perhaps with their spouses. In the end, the only way to heal these problems in human relationships is through our Buddhist practice. That is, through expanding our life condition, changing inside, and carrying out our human revolution based on faith. By taking action for the happiness of others, we can see actual proof of our human revolution. Most people find it is all they can do to worry about their own happiness and that of their immediate family. It is, therefore, no easy act to live for the happiness of your friends and fellow members, for the sake of the law and for Kosen Rufu, while at the same time grappling with your own personal problems. Yeah, a lot of people ask me, if I have my own personal problems, how can I branch out to help others? Well, I still remember my own experience when I was at the lowest level of my life. My senior member scolded me and said, stop worrying about yourself. Go and help others. And I did exactly what I was told. And by helping others, I began to feel very good about myself. And I found inner happiness. The fact is, however, that when you worry, pray, and struggle for the sake of others, you are proving by your very actions that you have transcended the bounds of your own individual concerns and are opening the way for your own splendid human revolutions. There are various ways to explain what is meant by human revolution. The word revolution points to a positive change in how we act and behave. In terms of our daily lives, proof of our human relationship could be simply stated as becoming a better person today than we were yesterday. And from the perspective of Nichiren Buddhism, it means developing compassion for ourselves and for others, and becoming wiser, stronger, happier, and more courageous. Now, by having compassion for ourselves is very important. Maybe a lot of us do not know that we are very cruel to ourselves and very critical of ourselves. And that was me. And if we do not like ourselves, how can we like other people? So be kind and be nice to yourself. Yes, we make mistakes. But when we make the mistakes, if we did not know that it was a mistake that we made, we did not intentionally make that mistake, it's okay. As long as we realize later that it's a mistake and we change, then everything is fine. And we do not have to blame ourselves. As I said, I did not really know how to raise my children. I did not know how to encourage them and how to help them stand up on their own. This is why I really had problem with my children first. But as soon as I started to practice Buddhism, Nichiren Buddhism, I realized my mistake and I changed. I changed the way I face my children and when I talk to them, and they changed also. And now my problem is solved. Our lives, both body and spirit, are entities of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. And human revolution is the process of manifesting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, the life state of Buddhahood. So what practical actions can we take to steadily progress in our human revolution? When we consistently chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo to the Kohansen, share Buddhism with others, and make efforts to advance in our daily lives, we can develop a courageous, unbeatable inner state of life. Progressing in our human revolution comes down to our ability to bring forth and maintain the spirit of challenge. Because sometimes, despite making our best and most sincere efforts in our Buddhist practice, we still find ourselves feeling stuck or unhappy. So at such time, President Ikeda urges, if you tend to be easily discouraged, just refresh your determination each time that happens. People who are resolved to see problems as opportunities and keep trying again and again, forging ahead with unflagging optimism, will definitely succeed in their human revolution. Now, sometimes it's very hard for us to see problems as opportunities. But when we try to use an analogy to see problems as a learning process, for example, if we want to graduate from primary 1 to primary 2, we have to spend a year studying and learning, and then doing tests and exams. And do we see that as a problem? No, it's just a process in our learning. So if we can use this to look at the problems that we may be facing, then everything will become easy, because after the exam, you will graduate to class number 2, to primary 2, and vice versa, until university graduate. There is a lot of work that you have to do, or a lot of problems. When I say problems, which I mean schoolwork that you have to solve. So, but once you have done all that, then you graduate. You are at a higher level. If you change your mindset into thinking that way, everything will be easier and happier, because we are just studying and learning. No matter the challenge or setback, the key is to never give up. As long as we continue to persevere in our Buddhist practice, we are certain to undergo a profound inner change, and as a result, see actual proof in our environment. For example, if you're a primary student, you meet primary children. When you are in university, you meet professors and other uni students, so your environments change as you change for the better. When we find the courage and compassion to help others, this commitment becomes the driving force to carrying out the human revolution and transforming our lives as well as the whole of humanity. For example, when I had problem with my sister when we are in the same business, we were very unhappy with each other to the point that we are going to call it quits. But then when chanting, suddenly I realized that my sister was very unhappy. And if I'm unhappy, she's unhappy too. And I'm the source of this problem, and I have to change. And once I change my mind for the happiness of my sister, everything changes. I apologized to my sister, and our relationship was better and better. Okay, so the 7 characteristics of human revolution. I have always thought that human revolution is just changing ourselves from bad to good. But there are 7 characteristics. Our lives, both body and spirit, are entities of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. And the human revolution is the process of manifesting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, the life state of Buddhahood, therein. So the 7 characteristics of human revolution are, number 1, health. We need to demonstrate the power of our practice in accord with the concept of faith, manifested in health. Of course, the question of karma is also involved. Nevertheless, when our health is compromised, we cannot be as active as we would like. For example, I have been very, very, very sick. I would call it my karma, because ever since I was a little child or as I was a teenager, I was very, very sick. I was so sick that even as a teenager, I could not go out without going back home to take an afternoon nap. That was how weak I was. And then, because of all the problems I faced in doing my business, I had become very sick to the extent that I cannot walk up 2 blocks without fainting. So several years ago, I chanted to the Gohans and I said, I wanted energy. I wanted to have enough energy to enjoy my life and to do the things I wanted. And because of my strong determination to change for better health, my health has improved a lot. And now I can carry on the whole day without sleeping until 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Now this is the proof, this is the benefit, and this is the proof of my human revolution. Because if I'm sickly, I cannot tell people how good this practice is. So given that we are made of flesh and blood, it is only natural that we will experience sickness. But the important thing is our earnest Buddhist prayer to be healthy and to attune our lives to the fundamental rhythm of the universe at the deepest level. I remember at one time I was so sick that I said to the Gohansen, I'm entrusting my life to you. I give my life to you. I want to be healthy. So please help me. I was in that kind of a situation then. Without such profundity in our prayer and a balanced lifestyle, we cannot say that we are genuinely practicing Nichiren Buddhism. Number 2, youthfulness. The second characteristic is youthfulness. Maintaining a youthful spirit throughout our lives is proof of our human revolution. As long as we continue to practice vibrantly and strive to improve and develop ourselves, we will never lose our youthful spirit. 3. Good fortune. Human revolution is also about good fortune. All the victories we achieve through chanting and working diligently for Kosen Rufu comes back to us as benefit and good fortune. In our present chaotic society, it is this good fortune that protects us and enables us to experience genuine fulfillment. Well, I can very earnestly tell everybody that I have a lot of good fortune. I'm very lucky, and I can get all the things that I want. I can do all the things I want to do, and there are countless help that I can encounter during my daily life. So this is what I get from human revolution. Number 4, wisdom. The fourth quality is wisdom. To perfect ourselves and develop into leaders who can function effectively in society, we need to cultivate our minds. Failing to do so will lead to our defeat. With sincere effort in human revolution, we gain wisdom. And with wisdom, we can overcome any problems and achieve any goals that we want. Number 5, passion. The fifth characteristic is passion. True practitioners of Nichiren Buddhism burn with a passionate spirit to achieve Kosen Rufu. No matter how intelligent we are, if we lose our passion and enthusiasm, it would be no exaggeration to say that we are no more than a zombie. Passion is a requirement for happiness. For the most part, whether we are happy comes down to whether we can feel passionate about things in our lives. I remember reading an article saying that as long as you are interested in life and you're interested in learning, you will never grow old. Number 6, absolute faith. The sixth quality is faith. Human revolution means to become a person who shines with faith. Faith in the Gohansen, faith in Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, and faith in yourself. without a sound philosophy, without faith. We are like a ship without compass or without a GPS. This is our modern day gadget. We lose our way in life, and run the risk of becoming a shipwrecked when the winds of adversity start to blow. Have absolute faith that we are Buddhas and possess all qualities to overcome our problems and achieve our goals. Number 7, victory. The 7th characteristic is victory. Buddhism is about winning. It is through our achieving victory upon victory that we carry out our human revolution. A life of victory is a life of human revolution. Our lives and Kosen Rufu are a struggle. When we triumph in those struggles, we can demonstrate the truth and correctness of our course. Compassion is an essential foundation that encompasses all those 7 elements. Developing compassion is the vital foundation of these 7 elements. Buddhism teaches that genuine compassion helps us extend ourselves and others and bridge the gaps between people. It is the foundation for creating harmonious unity among people, which is the aim of Buddhism. And because it can be challenging at times to genuinely feel compassion, acting with courage is often the best way to bring it forth. There are a lot of benefits if we do our human revolution. And I'm going to name those benefits to you to encourage you to do more of your own human revolution. Human revolution in action explains that negative tendencies and fundamental darkness can be changed into positive traits through this practice. Number 1, it can cause those who have not yet have the desire for enlightenment to conceive such a desire. 2, it can cause those who are without compassion to start to have compassionate minds. 3, it can cause those who enjoy in killing and slaughter to have minds of great pity. 4, it can cause those filled with envy and jealousy to have minds of joyful acceptance. 5, it can cause those who are begrudging and attached to things to have minds capable of giving up. 6, it can cause those who are close-fisted and greedy to have minds of giving. 7, it can cause those of abundant arrogance and pride to have minds that are more humble and accepting. 8, it can cause those much given to anger to have forgiving minds. 9, it can cause those who are lazy to have minds of diligence. 10, it can cause those who are scatterbrained and disordered to have minds devoted to concentration and orders. 11, it can cause those with much ignorance and folly to have minds of wisdom. 12, it can cause those who are not yet capable of saving others to have minds set upon saving others. 13, it can cause those who practice the 10 evil acts to have minds devoted to the 10 good acts. 14, it can cause those who delight too much in the conditioned situations or relationships to have minds fixed on the unconditioned situation or relationships. 15, it can cause those who have minds who are given to going backwards to have minds of going forward. 16, it can cause those given to losses to have minds to have gains in life. 17, it can cause those with many earthly desires to have minds that cleanse, and concentrate on spiritual growth. Progressing in our human revolution comes down to our ability to bring forth and maintain the spirit of challenge. Because sometimes, despite making our best and most sincere efforts in our Buddhist practice, we can still feel stuck or unhappy. At such times, President Ikeda urges, we must refresh our determination when that happens. No matter the challenge or setback, the key is never to give up. We are certain to undergo a profound inner change and see actual proof in our environment. For us ordinary mortals, taking courageous action translates into compassion. Sensei emphasized the importance and nobility of dedicating one's life to Kozen Rufu, which itself is the practice of compassion and courage, saying, human revolution ultimately means awakening our mission as a Bodhisattva of the earth and striving joyfully and courageously in the effort to realize Kozen Rufu. Thank you.